Shocking family secrets. Tracy's investigation leads to earth-shattering revelation on General Hospital. The walls of the Quartermaine mansion have witnessed countless family dramas over the decades, but nothing could prepare Port Charles for the bombshell that's about to explode. Tracy Quartermaine's sharp instincts have always served her well, and when something doesn't feel right about Veronica Ronnie Bard's sudden appearance claiming to be Monica's long-lost sister, Tracy knows she must dig deeper. Tracy's growing suspicions. From the moment Ronnie appeared at Monica's memorial service, Tracy's radar has been on high alert. The timing felt too convenient, too calculated. Why would Monica's supposed sister surface only after her death, when she had decades to make contact? Tracy's confrontation with Ronnie revealed telling inconsistencies. A woman claiming sisterhood, yet knowing surprisingly little about Monica's life as a Quartermaine. The red flags multiplied during Monica's reading when Ronnie inherited not just sentimental items, but the entire Quartermaine estate. Tracy had been at peace knowing she wouldn't get the house, but that another Quartermaine would inherit it. The fact that Monica left everything to a supposed non-Quartermaine seemed completely out of character for the family matriarch. Tracy begins noticing subtle details that don't add up. Ronnie moves through the mansion with unnerving confidence, as if she's been there before. Her hand brushes over furniture and doorways like she's reclaiming territory rather than discovering it for the first time. Jason's involvement and Spinelli's investigation. Unable to shake her suspicions, Tracy approaches Jason Morgan with her concerns. Despite their complicated history, Tracy knows Jason possesses the investigative skills and resources needed to uncover the truth about Ronnie's identity. Jason, already protective of his family legacy and suspicious of anyone who might threaten the Quartermaines, agrees to look into the matter. Jason immediately turns to his trusted friend and tech expert, Damian Spinelli, known for his exceptional hacking abilities and cyber-sleuthing skills. Spinelli has helped Jason solve countless mysteries over the years. Jason explains Tracy's suspicions about Ronnie and asks Spinelli to conduct a thorough investigation into her background. Spinelli approaches the task with his characteristic enthusiasm and thoroughness. He begins by examining Ronnie's digital footprint, searching for birth records, employment history, and any trace of her connection to Monica or the Quartermaine family. What he discovers sends chills down his spine. The shocking discovery. Working with his network of contacts and utilizing his advanced computer skills, Spinelli quickly uncovers inconsistencies in Ronnie's story. Public records show that a Veronica Bard did exist, but she died in a car accident 3 years earlier. The woman claiming to be Monica's sister is an imposter, but Spinelli's investigation doesn't stop there. As he digs deeper into the mystery woman's true identity, he stumbles upon something that defies all expectations. Through DNA analysis and medical records that somehow surfaced during his cyber investigation, Spinelli makes a discovery that rocks him to his core. The woman known as Ronnie is not Monica's sister. She's actually Susan Moore, the biological mother of Jason and Drew Kane. Susan Moore, who was believed to have died decades ago, has been living under an assumed identity all these years. Jason's world turns upside down. When Spinelli presents his findings to Jason, the revelation hits like a thunderbolt. Jason, who has already dealt with numerous shocking family revelations throughout his life, finds himself completely speechless. The mother he believed was dead has been alive all this time, and she's been deceiving the entire Quartermaine family. The implications are staggering. Susan Moore, now going by Ronnie, allowed Jason to grow up believing she was gone, let him be raised by the Quartermaines while she remained in the shadows. The emotional impact on Jason is immediate and overwhelming. All those years of wondering about his biological mother, all the questions about his origins, and she was alive the entire time. Jason struggles to process the information. Why would his mother fake her death? Why would she suddenly appear now, masquerading as Monica's sister? What has she been doing all these years? The questions multiply in his mind as he tries to understand the magnitude of this deception. The confrontation ahead. Armed with Spinelli's evidence, Jason knows he must confront the woman he now knows is his mother. The conversation will be one of the most difficult he's ever had to face. After years of believing Susan Moore was dead, after making peace with never knowing his biological mother's love, he's about to come face to face with her. Tracy, vindicated in her suspicions, but shocked by the true scope of the deception, prepares for the fallout. The revelation that Ronnie is actually Susan Moore will send shockwaves through the entire Quartermaine family. Drew, who has his own complicated relationship with the family, will also have to grapple with learning his mother is alive. The upcoming confrontation promises to be explosive. Jason will demand answers about why Susan faked her death, why she stayed away from her sons, and why she's returned now under false pretenses. The emotional reunion between mother and son will be fraught with anger, confusion, and decades of unresolved pain. As Port Charles prepares for this family bombshell, viewers can expect intense dramatic scenes as long-buried secrets finally come to light. The discovery of Susan Moore's true identity as Ronnie will forever change the dynamics of the Quartermaine family and force Jason and Drew to confront their complicated feelings about the mother they thought they'd lost forever. Next, we will learn about the electrifying yet eerie comeback of Nathan West to Port Charles, where whispers of deception swirl around a bold fan theory claiming he could be the scheming Peter August hiding behind a flawless facade. The reappearance of this beloved detective has sent ripples through the town, stirring a mix of joyous reunions and nagging doubts among residents and viewers alike, as old wounds from tragic losses threaten to reopen in unexpected ways. Longtime fans recall the heartbreak of Nathan's sudden demise in a harrowing confrontation back in 2018, a moment that left Maxie Jones shattered and the West family forever altered, only for Peter's own explosive exit in 2022 to add layers of intrigue to the narrative. Now, with Nathan striding back into the Quartermaine mansion like a ghost from the past, sporting that familiar determined gaze and a subtle limp from his injuries, speculation runs rampant that this isn't a miracle resurrection, but a calculated infiltration by his half-brother, Peter, driven by years of festering envy and unrequited passion. Imagine the scene. Nathan's first words to Liesl Obrecht, his mother, delivered with a warmth that melts her icy resolve, yet something in his eyes a fleeting shadow hints at ulterior motives, prompting viewers to question if advanced espionage gadgets, perhaps sourced from Caesar Faison's shadowy network, have enabled this identity swap. Unraveling the imposter puzzle, diving deeper into this chilling hypothesis, the timeline aligns too perfectly for coincidence, suggesting Peter August, the enigmatic son of the infamous villain Faison, faked his fiery demise to orchestrate a grand return as the heroic Nathan, whom everyone in Port Charles idolized. Peter's history is riddled with desperate bids for connection, from his covert surveillance of Maxie during her most vulnerable moments to the elaborate schemes that nearly cost innocent lives, all fueled by a twisted belief that he could claim the life his brother once lived. In this expanded theory, Peter might have escaped the inferno by mere seconds, using a hidden underground bunker reminiscent of the ones Faison once maintained in Europe to plot his transformation, incorporating holographic projections to stage the crash that revived Nathan and drew him back from the supposed brink of death. The technology at play could extend to neural implants, allowing Peter to mimic Nathan's mannerisms down to the way he absent-mindedly adjusts his watch during tense conversations, a detail pulled straight from archived family videos that Peter obsessively collected over the years. Furthermore, envision Peter consulting rogue scientists in a clandestine lab, perhaps one tied to the long-forgotten WSB Black Ops division, to engineer synthetic skin grafts that replicate Nathan's distinctive features, including the faint scar from his old bullet wound, ensuring no casual glance would betray the ruse. This level of deception isn't mere fantasy. It echoes the high-stakes gadgets seen in past Port Charles escapades, like the memory serums that once blurred lines between truth and illusion, making Peter's bold move feel eerily authentic within the soap's dramatic universe. As Nathan navigates the hospital corridors, exchanging nods with familiar faces like Felix Dubois, who eyes him with a mix of relief and hesitation, the theory gains traction. especially when a misplaced accent slips through during a heated argument, fueling online forums with screenshots and slow-motion breakdowns. Peter's twisted obsession fuels the deception. At the heart of this imposter saga lies Peter's all-consuming fixation on Maxie Jones, a love that warped from admiration into obsession, pushing him toward extremes that now manifest in this potential brotherly takeover. Picture Peter in the shadows of his hidden lair, poring over scrapbooks filled with photos of Maxie and Nathan's wedding, his mind racing with resentment toward the life he was denied, culminating in a decision to erase his own identity and step into Nathan's shoes as the devoted partner she still dreams of. This motive isn't just emotional, it's strategic, with Peter leveraging inherited resources from Faison's empire's vast fortunes hidden in offshore accounts to fund the operation, including bribes to silence any whistleblowers who might have witnessed his survival. In a newly imagined twist, Peter could have enlisted a double agent within the WSB, someone disillusioned like the late Duke Lavery once was, to supply blueprints for biometric spoofing devices that fool even the most sophisticated scanners at General Hospital's labs. His endgame: to rebuild the family unit around James West, Nathan's son, positioning himself as the stable father figure while subtly undermining Maxie's budding romance with Damian Spinelli, perhaps by planting forged letters from Spinelli's past that resurface doubts about his loyalty. The obsession deepens with invented details like Peter's secret visits to Maxie's apartment during her coma, whispering promises disguised as Nathan's voice through a modulator app on a burner phone, ensuring her subconscious clings to the original love even as she lies unconscious. Fans theorize this could lead to psychological warfare, where Peter as Nathan orchestrates small miracles, like recovering a lost heirloom from their shared history, to solidify his place, turning Maxie's grief into unwitting acceptance. Yet, cracks appear. During a family dinner at the Metro Court, Peter's hand trembles slightly when handling silverware, a telltale sign of nerves that only a keen observer like Scott Baldwin might catch, hinting at the fragility of his meticulously crafted persona. Technological marvels and identity forgery. The feasibility of Peter's grand illusion hinges on cutting-edge, villainous tech that blurs the boundaries of science fiction and soap opera reality, transforming him from pariah to prodigal son overnight. Advanced prosthetics could account for Nathan's physical traits, with 3D printed facial overlays that shift subtly under different lighting, fooling even close allies during intimate moments like a heartfelt embrace with Liesel. DNA manipulation enters the fray through CRISPR-like serums developed in Faison's secret facilities, allowing Peter to splice genetic markers that match Nathan's profile, a process detailed in leaked WSB files that superfans have pieced together from episode clues. Voice synthesis takes it further. Imagine Peter undergoing vocal cord adjustments via experimental surgery, calibrated to Nathan's cadence, complete with archived audio samples to train AI algorithms that adjust in real time during conversations. In an added layer of invention, Peter might have accessed a black market neural network akin to the mind control devices from Franco Baldwin's era to implant false memories, making his portrayal of Nathan's quirks like his preference for black coffee over tea feel instinctively right. Fingerprints pose no barrier. Synthetic gels molded from Nathan's old police records, preserved in a dusty evidence locker, could be applied like temporary tattoos, dissolving harmlessly after use. This tech web extends to surveillance drones disguised as delivery birds, monitoring poor Charles to preempt any slip-ups, ensuring Peter's entry via the staged car accident complete with fabricated witness statements from paid actors remains airtight. The amnesia angle serves as a masterful smokescreen, allowing Peter to rediscover Nathan's bonds gradually, buying precious weeks to entrench himself before suspicions mount, much like how past resurrections on the show used memory loss to rebuild alliances, family fractures, and looming confrontations. As this potential charade unfolds, the West family teeters on the edge of collapse, with Liesel Obrich's initial euphoria masking a growing unease that could ignite a powder keg of revelations. Britt Westburn's frosty demeanor toward her brother, it mere coincidence. In this theory, she harbors a secret from her time in captivity, perhaps overhearing Peter's confessions in the Five Poppies facility, which she now runs as a legitimate clinic to atone for her past. Her cold shoulder manifests in subtle sabotages, like accidentally misplacing Nathan's medical files during a checkup, forcing him to reveal inconsistencies under scrutiny. Maxie's prolonged coma adds tragic irony, delaying her judgment, but upon awakening, Peter's tender caregiving complete with bedside stories from their history might ensnare her emotionally, leading to wrenching scenes where she questions her own perceptions. Damian Spinelli, ever the tech whiz, senses discord through hacked security feeds showing anomalous behaviors, like Nathan avoiding certain topics tied to Peter's old haunts, setting up a cyber showdown that could expose the truth via a viral algorithm tracing digital footprints. Liesel's arc promises heartbreak. Her joy at reuniting with her son could shatter into vengeful fury, allying her with Britt in a mother-daughter duo reminiscent of their past united fronts against threats, perhaps culminating in a clandestine lab raid to verify the imposter's biology. External forces loom large. Jason Morgan's street smarts might pick up on forged alibis during a casual chat at the floating rib, while Anna Devane's intelligence network uncovers encrypted transmissions linking Peter to the resurrection plot. In a speculative escalation, a surprise visitor, B. Henrik Faison's long-lost associate, drops a bombshell clue, like a locket with Peter's initials hidden in Nathan's belongings, propelling the story toward an explosive climax where loyalties fracture and poor Charles braces for betrayal. Fan frenzy and future twists. Viewers are abuzz on social media, dubbing this the brother switcheroo as a stroke of twisted brilliance that honors GH's legacy of shocking returns. With Facebook threads exploding over dissected scenes and fan art depicting Peter's makeover, comments flood in. If it's Peter, Maxie deserves the drama pure soap gold, reflecting the thrill of uncertainty that keeps audiences hooked. Looking ahead, the ruse's unraveling could spark multi-episode arcs, from courtroom dramas questioning Nathan's identity to underground chases through the catacombs beneath the city, weaving in cameos from legacy characters like Robert Scorpio for added tension. Ultimately, whether Peter succeeds in his quest for redemption through deception or faces justice, this theory amplifies the themes of identity and forgiveness that define General Hospital, leaving fans eagerly awaiting the next twist in poor Charles' ever-turning tale. Next, we will learn about the intense drama unfolding between Michael Corinthos and his ex-wife, Willow Tate, as secrets and betrayals threaten to shatter their fragile family bonds. In the heart of Port Charles, where loyalties shift like the tides, Michael finds himself at a crossroads that could redefine his future with the woman he once loved deeply. Standing in the cozy yet tense confines of Elizabeth Baldwin's living room, surrounded by the faint scent of fresh coffee and scattered toys from the kids, Michael musters the courage to bare his soul. His voice steady but laced with vulnerability, he confesses to Willow that despite the pain of their divorce, he truly desires her presence in their children's lives once more. The words hang in the air like a lifeline thrown into stormy waters, promising a path forward without the cold intervention of courtroom battles or custody hearings. Willow's reaction is a masterpiece of emotional turmoil, her emerald eyes welling up with unshed tears that glisten under the soft lamplight, while her face freezes in a mask of utter paralysis. It's as if time itself pauses, capturing the raw shock of this unexpected olive branch from Michael, arriving at the worst possible moment in her tangled web of choices. Just days earlier, Willow had thrown her lot in with Drew Kane, the rugged Quartermain scion whose charm hides a ruthless edge, agreeing to help him orchestrate Michael's downfall in a bid to reclaim her role as a mother. She envisioned a scenario where Michael's imprisonment would clear the way for her to scoop up their little one Zambrose with his curly locks and infectious giggle, and little Georgia, whose tiny hands clutch Willow's heartstrings even from afar. But now, with Michael's heartfelt plea echoing in her ears, doubt creeps in like fog over the harbor, making her question if she can truly summon the influence to sway Drew from his vengeful course. Drew, ever the strategist with his military-honed instincts, might listen if Willow appeals to their shared history, perhaps reminding him of the quiet nights they spent plotting business moves at the Metro Court. But his grudge against Michael runs deep, fueled by corporate betrayals and personal slights. Deep down, Willow's longing for her babies has been a constant ache, a void that no amount of therapy sessions with Dr. Liesel Obert could fill, ever since the custody battle tore them apart amid accusations of instability. Michael's willingness to bridge that gap, to envision co-parenting holidays at the Quartermain estate with turkey dinners and twinkling lights, feels like a dream she never dared to chase again. Her recent pact with Drew complicates everything. She had calculated that his takedown of Michael through fabricated evidence of embezzlement or worse would hand her the children on a silver platter, even if it meant feigning a rekindled romance with Drew to seal the deal. Imagine the scenes. Stolen kisses in dimly lit diners to maintain the facade, all while her mind races with visions of tucking the kids into bed at night. Now, second thoughts swirl like a whirlwind, twisting her resolve as she grapples with the moral quicksand she's stepped into. Guilt gnaws at her relentlessly, not merely for plotting against Michael, the father of her children who has shown unwavering devotion through leukemia scares and family crises, but for a darker secret that could unravel her entire world. Whispers in the corridors of General Hospital hint that Willow might be the shadowy figure behind the near-fatal shooting of Drew, an incident that sent shockwaves through Port Charles and left him fighting for life in the ICU. Picture the chaotic night, rain pounding against the windows of the old boathouse, Willow's hands trembling as she picks up the discarded gun from a heated argument gone wrong, her fingers squeezing the trigger in a moment of blind panic over Drew's threats to expose her past deceptions. Drew survived by sheer luck, a bullet grazing his shoulder instead of piercing his heart. But the attempted murder charge looms large, with detectives like Dante Falconeri circling closer to the truth. If Willow pulled that trigger, her alliance with Drew takes on a sinister layer. She's not just aiding his revenge, but deflecting suspicion onto Michael, ensuring her own freedom while securing custody through his incarceration. This betrayal stings deeper because Drew, with his piercing blue eyes and unyielding sense of justice, has been insisting to authorities that an unknown assailant, perhaps a corporate rival or a jilted lover, did the deed, unknowingly shielding Willow from the spotlight. But how long can she carry this burden before it crushed her? The weight of potential prison time for herself, separated forever from her family, clashes violently with the joy Michael's offer brings, creating an internal storm that could erupt at any moment. Willow's unraveling psyche adds layers of intrigue to her arc, transforming her from the steadfast nurse and devoted mother into a character teetering on the edge of villainy. Recall her desperate midnight raid on the Quartermain mansion, slipping through the grand oak doors under cover of darkness to snatch baby Daisy Corinthos Gilmore from her crib, the infant's soft coos masking Willow's frantic heartbeat as she fled into the night. That act alone painted her as unstable, a far cry from the woman who once balanced shifts at the hospital with bedtime stories for her own kids. Her glee at Sasha Gilmore Corbin's abrupt departure from town. Sasha, the model-turned-mother whose own tragedies mirrored Willow's, came off as unhinged, a gleeful cackle echoing in empty rooms that raised eyebrows among the Spencers and Webbs. Now, layering on the shooting, suspicion elevates her to a new echelon of complexity. Perhaps she's channeling the ruthless survival instincts inherited from her biological lineage, drawing parallels to the manipulative schemes of her mother, Nina Reeves. Nina, with her history of kidnappings and identity thefts, might sense the darkness in her daughter, offering cryptic advice over hushed phone calls from Crimson Magazine's offices, hinting at alibis without outright condemning Willow's spiral. On the flip side, Michael's proclamation of innocence resonates strongly among those who know him best, bolstering his case amid the brewing scandal. He swears to anyone who listens, from boardroom confidants at ELQ to his loyal sister Jocelyn, that he had no hand in the violence against Drew. His alibi ironclad with timestamps from a late-night strategy session at the gym. Even the sharp-tongued Tracy Quartermain, rarely one to mince words or show mercy, leans toward believing him. her skepticism softened by memories of Michael's integrity during past family upheavals like the Ned scandal. Carly Spencer, Michael's fiercely protective mother, stands as his staunchest defender, her bias rooted in years of watching him grow from a troubled teen into a responsible patriarch. Though she admits in quiet moments to Sonny that maternal love might cloud her judgment, Willow, too, never pegged Michael for a killer. His gentle nature, evident in how he coaches Ambrose's Little League games or comforts Georgia during thunderstorms, clashes with the brutality of attempted murder. Yet, her own unsuspected capacity for such acts mirrors this irony, forcing her to confront the monster she's become, much like how she once viewed her ill-fated twin, Nell Benson Jerome, whose villainous streak ended in tragedy. Nell's ghost looms large, a cautionary tale of unchecked impulses leading to downfall, making Willow wonder if she's doomed to repeat that cycle. As Drew's accusations gain traction, with forensic evidence pointing fingers at Michael's tire tracks near the crime scene planted, or not, the pressure mounts on Willow to choose her path. Will she muster the strength to confess, stepping into the harsh lights of the PCPD interrogation room and exonerating Michael, even if it means facing charges herself and losing everything she's fought for? Or will self-preservation win, allowing Drew's narrative to prevail and condemning Michael to a cell while she plays the grieving mother card to win back her children? The Quartermain family tree, with its branches of deceit and redemption, holds more twists. Perhaps Jason Morgan, Michael's surrogate uncle, uncovers a hidden camera feed that reveals Willow's involvement, forcing an explosive confrontation at the annual holiday gala. Nina's intuition could play a pivotal role, pulling Willow aside for a tearful heart-to-heart in the park, urging her to break free from the shadows before it's too late. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Baldwin, ever the mediator in her living room sanctuary, might sense the undercurrents and gently probe Willow for the truth, her nursing intuition sharpened by years of bedside confessions. This saga underscores the timeless allure of General Hospital's storytelling, where love and loyalty collide with ambition and regret, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats. Michael's openness signals a potential reconciliation, but Willow's secrets threaten to poison it all, hinting at therapy sessions, surprise witnesses, and courtroom showdowns ahead. As Port Charles braces for the fallout, one thing is clear: no one escapes the consequences of their choices unscathed, and Willow's next move could either heal old wounds or inflict new ones that scar the Corinthos' legacy forever. Stay tuned for more explosive updates on this riveting chapter of betrayal and redemption.